morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Wednesday, April 17th. Middle of the week, hump day, whatever you want to call it. We are a couple of minutes away from getting the Eurozone CPI for the month come out here at 5 a.m. Today, we've got the mortgage rates. Ooh, millennials, Gen Zs. Ooh, scary. I paid 13.5% interest on the first house I bought. Fuck off. We do get crude inventories, and then later in the afternoon, we've got some speakers, which aren't much. And yesterday, you actually had some really bullish discussion coming from the ECB speakers, talking about, yes, there is a strong possibility for a rate cut still in June. But then yesterday at 1 o'clock, when Jerome Powell spoke, you got one of the most hawkish Jerome Powells in better part of 18 months. And you know this already. And that's about it for the day. Nothing seriously scheduled for today. We come on over and look again. And today you have ASML. Don't really care. Abbott Labs, Prologis, nobody. Again, it's a nobody reporting kind of week. Tomorrow morning, Taiwan Semiconductor, and then tomorrow night, after the market closed, we get Netflix. Netflix was actually pretty resilient yesterday, watching that over on the bottom part of the screen. But yeah, yesterday, 3 red closes in a row. Hello, put your alarm clocks on. 3 red closes in a row. 3 red closes in a row. Alarm clocks on. Not horrible, but not what you've been used to. Getting a 40-point range yesterday. We came right down 40, 39, 83, right down to the very top. Where are you? Top. Where are you? Right to the top. Jesus, man, I can't even find this anymore. Right there. There's the top. February 22nd. Right where you had that massive NVIDIA gap. So that's where we're at, somewhere in here. Fuck it, whatever. But you get the point. We came right down to that top, and more significantly, as I shared, came right to that 50-45. That 50-45 projects as a perfect bottom. Came right down to it, couple of little tags underneath it, and then vacated away from it. Now I have no moving averages on this chart, so nothing here to see, but I can go ahead and add another line just so that everybody can see it. We have made it to minus 4%. Minus 4% over there at 50-54. This is the biggest decline that we have had since going prior to the October 27th bottom. Biggest decline that we have had since then, better part of 6.5 months. And here we are, right on this 50-39, and again, right on that 50-45. Projects perfectly. There's also some other technical indicators which are a lot bigger, broader, and more of the wider term grandma, grandpa, investor kind of thing that are very oversold and are indicative, bodega, they are indicative of a relief bounce, not a rally, a relief bounce, which is due. And I'll share some views on that in this couple of seconds as well. 50-45 working perfectly. We should see a minimum of 5102. 5102 with the 50-day moving average being up there at 50-15. 5-day moving average will be moving below the 50-day moving average today. So up above that 5100 zone would be where the target projection minimum will still continue to be. Not a play that I would be looking for on a call play. I definitely would not, like I said yesterday. You need speed. You need momentum. You need it to be quick. You need it to be fast. Because while we have, and I'll wait until I get to it, but yeah, while we have the inflated VIX, as the VIX declines and the S&P moves to the upside, they tear your premium away. So that move has to be quick. It's not one of these ones where it can take a couple of hours to do. It's just going to eat into your premium, which some of you saw yesterday that were trying to play the calls. QQQ, we got to visit below 430. We are into that NVIDIA bullshit gap from back on February 21. We got inside of it. We are below that 433.50. That 433.50 is the very first break line before we start looking for anything to even consider to get a move up to 438. Over here on the VIX, here we are. So again, on the VIX, we are finally starting to get that little kind of baby move down below that 1811. Got one there yesterday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which was Jim Finman. You crushed it, man. I love the message that you sent to me. You took 9 different trades yesterday on that 50, 55, 50, 60 put, and you cashed in on every one of them. At the end of the day, as we were up here, like I was sharing, 15:30. Prior to that, I think it was around 3 o'clock, I said, 50-70, that clears your road, but I don't trust this. And right there, the last 30 minutes of the day, you got kicked in the fucking face. I don't remember, because I wasn't sitting watching it, the 50, 55, 50, 60s here around 3:30. Without even looking and without having been there to see it, I could bet you that they were down at 50 cents or fractionally below 50 cents 30 minutes into the close. We closed below 50.60. That's the way the game works because it is a video game. So quickly and moving on because there isn't much to cover here. IWM, fantastic move down here below that 194.85. Excellent. US dollar, Japanese yen. Holy fucking shit. The world is about to collapse. Starting to get a little bit of a relief roll. Just a calm down relief roll is all that this is at the moment. But this is some scary fucking shit if anybody follows how this really affects the global economy. Come over onto the TLT, and again, with the TLT being down here below that 88.78, a little bit of a relief curl starting to come back over there, which is affecting over there on your bonds. And then you come over here onto the US dollar. Again, big extension, big gap up overnight, and slowly starting to see a little bit of a relief, cool off, which should help for the S&P to reach out and start to relieve itself back up there toward that 5100, get the QQQ relieving itself back up above 433.50, attempting to get up into that 438 area. And this is what I'll leave you with, having to bring over my big charts, which, that didn't work. So let's try that again because this is a big screen here. All right, here we go. So the Nikkei 4-hour oversold. As you see how we got oversold over here in the beginning of April after having rolling down, very oversold, got a little bit of a relief bounce. We are very oversold at the moment over on the Nikkei. Come on to the FTSE. FTSE, same thing. Fractionally oversold as you got into the lows yesterday, getting a fractional little bit of a relief bounce coming off of that oversold. Come over onto the Russell, and Russell, oversold. Back down to minus 20% from its all-time highs. Dow Jones, another one, which, you know what, I will zoom this out into a bigger time frame to see it better. Very oversold as we were going down here into the early part of the week, February on the 12th. Here we are on the 15th. And again, very oversold, having come right on down week to date, right down to the 2024 Open, just scaling on going negative on the year. Come over onto the SPX, and again, wider view so that you can see it better. And again, very oversold over here on the SPX 4-hour. And finally, with the NASDAQ, which we've already shared as far as the view, as to it should be looking for a bottom right around there. Didn't quite get down there to that 1763, but close enough. But again, very worthy of being noticed, of being oversold. So you're very oversold, very oversold, very oversold, and all that means is that you are oversold. Does not mean go out there and buy calls. All it means is you are oversold, and thus we should be looking at a relief rally and somewhere into the low 5100s, 5123 being the upper level is where I'd be looking. And today, plus 1% would be 5101. I would not be looking for that because, like I shared yesterday, Tuesday, April 16th watch, SPX 5045 is a perfect bottom. Come on down here to how we had back-to-back minus 1% sessions, looking at the prior ones. Closed red. NVIDIA reported. CPI report, closed red, closed fractionally green. And again, this was during that major part of February of 2023 after the decline began. February 3 and 6. Again, Jerome Powell speaking that day. He didn't help you today because he has been getting hawkish. And then back in January, where you had the plus 1% day because it was OPEX Friday. So again, like I said, I would not in any way, I would no way in hell get long. And I continue to have that same view. I would not get long. And you are very close. Don't worry. The full moon is coming here on April 23. So you got less than a week. Sit there, let this thing situate itself, sort itself out. And then we're going to be going into major tech earnings reports next week, the week after that. So enjoy everything about Wednesday because it is a beautiful sunny day for everybody around the world. And those that are over here are able to enjoy. What are we at now? Temperatures. 96. Not bad. Hell of a lot better than yesterday, but yeah, it is already 5 o'clock. So yeah, enjoy yourselves, get ready, and I will see you in the chat room.